USDCAD. Okay, making its way up. I drew this out a few days ago. Let's see how it did. Came up. I don't know why these lines are broken up here, but it did break this area and pull back here perfectly. So that is a very good entry. Would have been if I had taken it, because I missed that one too. But yeah, so far it's really good here. You can see it did reject. This candle rejected this area and pulled back, but then on the lower time frames, you can see it broke here and then retested. The next day was good to go, but yeah, I think it's going straight to 136. The US dollar is definitely gaining strength, and this also tells me that most likely oil will push back down to it, because USDCAD and oil are related, not as much as they used to be, but because the Canadian dollar is the petrodollar, there's some relations and some correlations, but anyways, yeah, so USDCAD, super bullish movement, like this month anyways. It was pretty slow for a while, but now it's been very consistent. 132 basically right to 136 I think is where it's headed, and that would be its full monthly range, about 400 pips. Got this major area here too, so I do think that's where it's going to end up. As far as taking a trade position, I don't know if there's going to be a lot of room left in this. I would also be looking for maybe a bit of a pullback first to some area, some previous area, just because it has been just straight up so far. Dropping down to the 4 hour, price is way above this moving average, so very bullish, but also could pull back a bit at some point. Yeah, you kind of just want to find a main area here, like where there's a lot of wicks, kind of where price may pull back to, somewhere like this. I would like a better area though, like a more significant, clearer area. I guess there's a bunch of wicks here. I mean, we'll start with this area for now. I just need some sort of pullback area, just because like this only has another 80 pips left in the monthly range, so ideally it's gonna pull back at some point, and retrace at least a little bit for this month. So really I have to be mindful of when it does that, because I mean it's a nice thought to think, oh, I'll just keep buying this and I'll just keep going up, but unlikely. So especially once it gets up to this 136 area, I think it'll lose momentum. So as far as a buy position, I would wait for something. I would even pull this back a little bit here. I don't actually really know if you'll get a buy position for the rest of the month. I mean, you would have to take it off something. You'd have to take it off one of these areas that aren't nearly as significant. And I personally don't really like that thought. But, I mean, let's see. Where is this one? So you do have this 135 level as a whole level. So I'm just curious how this is going to play out. 135, 135. So now this is your 135 level on this 4 hour. Price rejected, broke, and now is holding above it. So like 135 might be your support area, and you might be able to use this wick as kind of like a safety net. So a good chance that price doesn't break below these wicks. So I would say there's a good possibility that price hits 136 before it pulls back to these wicks, but you don't know that for sure. And I mean, that can change at any time. So based on this right now, I'd say you're good, but I mean, that can change so quickly. So I don't really like that idea either. So as far as USDCAD, I do think it's a good buy. I just don't, I would wait for an area of liquidity, because I just buying it on the up run here after it's just like higher day, day after day after day. I just, it's not my type of trading, like momentum based trading, but I mean, you could. I just think there's a better zone here. There is a zone here on this 4 hour as well. So I would just wait for price to come back to one of these liquidity areas before buying it. I just, I get worried when price is moving and it runs out of steam at some point. And like I said, the monthly range for this is only 400 pips, I think. Let's double check. I mean, maybe maybe 420, 430. But if you pull up here, like you can just see a lot of wicks in this, just above 3620. And then, you're already into a lot of monthly wicks above, 135.76. So you're basically, this is how I look at it. You're running into huge areas of resistance, anything above 136. And then, you have no liquidity zones, you have no recent liquidity zones to support you. So not only is this going to run out of monthly momentum at, around 400 pips, you're going to this massive resistance zone. So it's like, it's tough to consider a buy position knowing that, in my opinion. So for me, I'm just going to have to wait out Usdcad and just sit on the sideline, see if it holds above 135, and then maybe just wait for something, let price come back down to, again, I like my whole numbers, so let price come back down to, 134 maybe, and then go from there. Because until then, buying this right now with only a possible 80 pips to the upside, that's best case scenario. Best case scenario, in my opinion, this moves up 80 pips the rest of the month. Worst case is it pulls back 120, first. So that's that's kind of what I'm feeling here. I do like this zone though. This is a really nice zone, this 134 area. So I would let price come back down to it, and then look for an entry there, and it might be an entry for next month even. Would be more ideal. And we'll see how this moving average also functions. Maybe price holds and stays above this moving average for the rest of the month. And then you're looking for a nice bull month next month as well, but it's gonna have to break a lot of resistance areas. So that's something we just have to deal with when that time comes. As of right now, in determining a trade, there's nothing, in my opinion, until price gets back down to 134. I just don't want to, I would not buy it now and then have it run out of steam in like 50, 60 pips, and then get stuck on the retracement. You basically get stuck buying at the top, and you get stuck on this entire pullback, which, see, and if you place it like this, imagine this is the run, look where price ends up. Legit, exactly where I marked out. Your 50% line, your 50% zone is right at the start of this zone. So that would make a lot more sense to me. So you basically have to let price come back up to 136, or let price come up to 136, let it come down, and then you can place an entry. And if you wanted to counter trend trade, you consider shorting this at 136. So you get like a play like this, and then you target a retracement type trade. So this is what your trade would look like for Usdcad. Something like this. You target this 50% zone. You would tighten up this stop to wherever you see the candles kind of run out of steam. And then this is just a monthly retracement trade, which I take all the time and I really like them. So this will probably be my next play on Usdcad, to be honest. I'd let price hit 136 and then look for a short position down to 134, just past it kind of thing, right to that 50% zone, right to that area that we drew out. Would be my take on this, something like this. So yeah, that's USDCAD. That's what I'm expecting, and that's what I am waiting for.